What's up, friends? Today we're going to part 2 of tearing down the 1983 Honda Shadow. We're going to go ahead and take some of this stuff off. Turn signals come off with this bolt here. I think it's boy, that's pretty big. 16, 17. Typical size would be 17 probably. Maybe it's a 14, I don't know. I will get out a wrench and look. These guys turn out of here. I can probably use this pliers that I accidentally left out in the rain. And they just kind of go counterclockwise, and once you get them loose, you can open them up by hand pretty easily. So that'll disconnect those. Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. This was already loose. Okay. And then that'll just drop off, basically drop off the back. And this is for the tachometer, so that's going down to your engine. Just pull that back, and there's going to be a little bit of a metal inside there. This one also, that one's tight. See if I can loosen that guy. All right, I'll do that with the other hand. And then there's 2 bolts under here. They look like 10 millimeters, and that'll probably get all this off. We're going to have to disconnect wiring and go from there. Next thing we'll probably end up going for is some of this stuff back here. The regulator rectifier is gonna unplug. All you gotta do is push down here. Oh, there's nothing locking that in, so that'll just wiggle out of there. And this connector actually looks pretty decent. They usually are burnt up. There's also nothing locking that in, so these will basically just pop out because there's no locks. This one's tighter. There we go. So now, since this is Jimmy rigged here, pull up that should be a bolt or something probably, and then we'll get this off and get the battery out. I don't think there's supposed to be a hole there. If there is, probably, oh, that was a lock. So there's a lock there that's not there anymore. This is your little compartment that things can be stored in. And I guess it would be locked, or somebody ran something in there. I don't know. And then there's our starter down there. Those are always easy to take off, but we'll get to that eventually. All right, I did get the one turn signal off. It's a 17 millimeter. And this side too. Just gonna turn that off and then slide the wires through. Once the nut's off, slide the nut off the wires. Got to get it around these connections. There we go. Turn signals look decent. And then that'll just pop off. The gauge cluster came off with those 2 little nuts, and now I got to disconnect those wires from this junction box here. Pulled out a lot of the wires here. This guy is the main wiring harness. We need to disconnect this 12 millimeter bolt here. This bracket's holding it into place. Got to get this out of the way. As you can see, these metal suckers are falling out. Like, this is kind of roached here, so this is bad. I don't think this board is going to be worth selling. It's like melted in places. It's just not part of this housing anymore. So I don't think I'm going to be selling this, just because parts are falling out of it, and I can't guarantee it. So we're going to pop out the rest of these wiring connectors. Just take a little screwdriver in, and you see a little tab here. Just got to pry this out a little bit, and these are all falling out. They're loose. That's not going to make connections. So yeah, just both sides, little tab in there. Take a little screwdriver like this, get in there, and just pop it out, and then you can pull these out. Otherwise, I'll keep rolling. Okay, well, these always sell because somebody's got one that's bad, and this is a really nice one. That just gets held on there by that tab, I guess. There's nothing else there, so nice. That'll be easy to sell. Got all the wiring stuff out of there. As you can see, this one's burnt. Something went wrong here. That's probably ignition circuit. And then, yeah, let me show you this circuit board. All these metal things literally fell out. The only thing holding them in was the plugs themselves. So this is kind of held in there, but otherwise, these things are just falling right out, and I've never experienced that. For those of you that want to get the inner fender out, it sits on these knobs right here, so you just kind of pry it out of place, and then we got like turn signal relays sitting on there, so that comes out, and then you can kind of wiggle and bend it out of this spot if you can. It's stuck. So if the rear wheel wasn't here, that would come right out. I'll have to wiggle and pull and bend a little bit to get it out of this spot. There we go. Now we're clear. Just don't break it if you want to keep it or you want to sell it. We're stuck in the spring here. There we go. There you go. There it is. It got kind of burnt here. It's weird. Got a little pass through, little hole. I'm working on getting this wiring harness out. So probably have to get this air box out of there first. That may or may not be easy. I already took a mounting bolt out of here and a ground bolt out of there. And then we'll see if I can wiggle that out. I don't know if it'll come this way or if it won't. I just noticed this is a small battery and there's a piece of wood underneath it. So that piece of wood is not allowing me to get this out of here. This isn't supposed to bend, but it will. I can get this piece of wood out of here. What does that mean? The battery's still sitting in there. There we go. So this isn't even the battery that should be in here, but somebody ran it. Yes, 9. It's probably junk. It looks like junk. So anyway, set that aside. And keep on tearing. I have the wiring harness free from the front. Now we have to disconnect it from what? Probably spark boxes and such. Coils there, and then it's free all the way down to here. If we're cutting the frame, you could get it out from there and there. Otherwise, if we want to make it right, we do need to get this air box moved and out of the way. As I said before, I like taking these things off because they're easy and holding things together. So just set those aside. All right, one 10mm bolt holding the whole box goes there, a whole battery box, and then this came out and it came with spark boxes. Pretty cool, both of them in there and looking fine. I guess I unplugged them at one point, didn't even realize it. Stop and tail light, that was the one that was mounted to the inner fender. So all this is free now. So if I can slide that underneath, I can get this out of here. And also, this is free from this side. I feel like I can push it in this way. Maybe I can maneuver it out that way. It's also connected here, which is going to slide out in a few minutes if I keep knocking it from this side. But I think we're probably attached to something else here. There's a bolt down here, but it's not coming loose. I think that's gonna need some work to get that out. But we're pretty close to getting all this out, and if this falls out, I can pull that through. I'm going to remove this cover because I think there's a nut inside that keeps spinning. So remove this cover and see what we have for an air filter. Here's our filter. And whoops. Our cover. Our basket. And in here we have nuts. And it looks like, yes, there's a spinning nut. Yep, I did get that screw out, and then that came free of that. But this hose was attached to the bottom of the air box, and we're kind of jammed in here now, and I can't get it out. But Then I got this air snorkel tube off from there to here. And then this came free. And now I got to get my wires. There's another relay here. Pulled back through here. I don't know if that relay is going to fit through there. Maybe she will. And then I got to disconnect whatever else is connected up here. Ignition coils take 10mm bolts in the bracket here, but I think I can get the bracket off by itself if I can get to the screws that are up here. There are 2 covers that go here. There they are down there. I lost 1 screw. And see if I can get these ignition coils out. Here we are. One more thing I think we need to take off before we can get this wiring harness back there. This is a cover set in here with what? Ah, 2 little connectors there with the ignition coils. Okay, pull those off and get this out. Wiring harness. There we go. She's off and running. And we'll put her over here. Oh, we still have a label. Cool. It's usually worn off that you can't read any of it. Where is it? It's pretty hard to read it, but it's there. I wiggled this box the whole way over here and was finally able to get it out of the side here. And this is what's on the bottom. And there's what's inside. It's a nice box. Just clean it up a little bit and she'll be good to go. Kind of wet and sticky in there. Knocked off this overflow tube a little bit. I don't know what that is, but it's gross. So whatever that is leaking out. It smells like a collection. It's just probably what it is. Overflow collection tank. It's dripping out down there. And yeah, that's it. So that's out. Maybe we're good for now. I can clean that up, put the bin back in, put the cover back on, and keep rolling. Since we already have this snorkel off, everything's cleaned out from behind. Gonna have to cover this up now because we have straight incline to the carbs, straight intrusion, and that's free. Hasn't been run in a while, so it's a little sticky, but it's good. And then down there, I don't know what that is, so I'm not sticking my finger in there. Something weird. So there's that. And the boot came off with that side. Oh, there's my thing. And the boot. Oh, I see. It's a curved boot there. So, yeah, we'll cover this up and walk away.
What are you doing?
All right, we need a 6mm for these guys. That'll take off this brace, and then 10mm under here to take off this fender, and then we'll take off the brake caliper. That's over here and should be 14. Actually, it looks bigger than 14, but I think these are 14, so we'll use them to take off the brake caliper and the bracket. There's our brace. Got that off. Now we're going for the 10mm inside. And yes, 14 down here. Gonna use the impact for that one. All right, fender and brace off. Now let's go for the caliper. Oh, this, I have the adapter on here. That's a big one.
Where did I put my sword?
That is locked on there. I'll have to get a mallet. Now that we got that off, that's gonna hang there The speedo cable is going to go through the bracket here. So get that nursed through. And then this comes up around here, bracket there, and then we'll take off the master up here with a 5mm Allen. There's that. That'll free that up. Take off these 2 electrical connectors. And then that part will all be free. And this also takes off these guys right here. And then that's pretty much it for now. The only other thing I'd say is let's grab the other Allen. I think it's a 6. And we'll get these bar end mirrors off. This is definitely a 6mm hex, but I think it's just spinning in there, so I don't know how that's going to come out. I'll try the other side, but that's it for today. You can pop these guys off with a screwdriver. There is a spot where it actually indents to pop it off, but if you can just get in behind here, you can pop those off, and you're good. See you guys on the next one. We'll get this thing the rest of the way torn down.